Panic at the Disco has always been a favorite band of mine, besides a few others. I wanted to try and find an Iceberg image that could actually work as a video. If you don't know what an Iceberg image is, it's where the most known information is on the top, and as the deeper you go, it gets even more obscure. Luckily, I found a Panic Iceberg image that I can make a video on. Special thanks to Wicked Little Sinners 28 on Twitter for this. I will leave a link to their account in the description below. Without further ado, here is the Panic at the Disco Iceberg that I can actually comment on. High Hopes. Starting with the well-known one, High Hopes is a song on the 2018 album Pray for the Wicked, which was a single released in May of that year. The song has become very famous, presumably due to the message of not giving up to pursue your dreams. Twitch. Twitch is an online live streaming service mostly used for video games. Lead singer, Brendan Urie, is a popular streamer on there. He started streaming in 2018 as opposed to using Periscope and then Instagram Live a few years back. The fun part about him streaming is that you actually get to see what he's like, and not when he's on stage and in interviews. Bebo. Bebo is a nickname given to Brendan by the fans. Enough said. Sarah Urie, previously Orzechowski, is Brendan's wife, marrying in 2013. The song Sarah Smiles from the 2011 album Vices and Virtues is obviously about her, and was written by Brendan in an attempt to win her over. Browlin is the ship name of Brendan and Dallin Weeks, who was one of the previous bassists for the band. Ryden. Continuing with the ships, Ryden is the shipping between Brendan and Ryan Ross, the guitarist and lyricist for the band from 2004 to 2008. Keep this ship in mind because this iceberg has a lot of Ryden in it. Cheese Whiz.
Hey, did you guys get any chips? No, but I got Cheese Whiz.
This clip actually originates from a short film the band made in 2008 called American Valley, which is on the Live in Chicago DVD. The clip has become a huge meme in the fandom, spanning a plethora of hilarious video edits and photos.
Got any grapes? The man said,
no, but I got Cheese Whiz.
Is mayonnaise an instrument?
No, but I got Cheese Whiz.
Face it, you're never gonna make it. I don't want to make it. I just want
Cheese Whiz.
Frank Sinatra. Brendan is a huge fan of Frank Sinatra, which is where the jazz influences for the band come from. Brendan even has a tattoo of Sinatra. Bogart and Penny Lane. Bogart and Penny are the Urie's two adorable dogs. Drunk History of Fall Out Boy. The Drunk History of Fall Out Boy is where Brendan gets really drunk and is asked to recite the history of the popular band Fall Out Boy, up to 2013 when their album Save Rock and Roll was released, while the members of the band act out what Brendan is saying. The video is a parody of the show Drunk History on the Comedy Central channel. Cult. This might be referring to a joke within the fandom about how Panic at the Disco is basically a cult. This can be proven through the music videos of LA Devotee, where Noah Schnapp, of Stranger Things fame, is captured by these red hooded figures while Brendan shows subliminal messages, and The Emperor's New Clothes, where Brendan goes to hell and becomes a gargoyle-like demon. There's also the song Hallelujah on the 2016 album Death of a Bachelor, where Brendan calls his fans sinners. It should also be noted that another joke is that Brendan is a fusion of God and Satan. Seattle Theory. The Seattle Theory is basically about Ryan and Brendan being gay and in love with each other, to put it bluntly, using the song Northern Downpour on the 2008 album Pretty Odd as blatant evidence. The Milkfic. The Milkfic is a smut and cringe fanfiction where Brendan and Ryan... I shouldn't be talking about this. Vine. Vine was a short-lived 7-second video sharing site from 2013 to 2016. This was heavily used by the two members of the band at the time, Brendan and Dallin. IDK How. I don't know how, but They Found Me is a band created by previous bassist Dallin and Ryan Seaman, who was once a drummer in the band Falling in Reverse. Fortnite. Fortnite is a widely popular video game by Epic Games in which it's Brendan's favorite game, playing it a lot on his Twitch. There were a couple of times where he played with fans and live streamed it. It even got him to be a presenter at the 2018 Game Awards for Best Music Score. Vrocrew. Vrocrew is the new fan-base name for Brendan on Twitch, including photographer Jake Chams and his brother Sam. Highest Hopes Foundation. The Highest Hopes Foundation is a non-profit organization created by Brendan with the goal to stop discrimination against people no matter their race, gender, sexual orientation, religion, etc. I will leave a link down in the description in case you feel like donating. Vices bonus tracks. The 2011 album Vices and Virtues has 6 bonus tracks on deluxe edition copies. Unfortunately, not all of the songs are on music streaming services like Apple Music and Spotify, but you can listen to all of them on YouTube. Young Veins. The Young Veins is a band created by Ryan and then bassist at the time, John Walker, after leaving Panic at the Disco in 2008. Throne. The Heart Rate of a Mouse is a Raiden fanfiction AU, or alternate universe, taking place in the 1980s. I haven't read Throne, but I guess whatever beats the dreaded milk fig, am I right? Sun and Moon. This is a Raiden theory stating that Brendan is the moon and Ryan is the sun, or the other way around, I'm not sure. Fans have found evidence in 2 songs on Pretty Odd, Northern Downpour, and most definitely When the Day Met the Night. CTF. Crank That Frank, more recently known by his real name, Frank Joya, was a popular YouTuber who's a huge fan of Panic and Brendan. In 2019, around the time of the 14th anniversary of A Fever You Can't Sweat Out, Frank had the opportunity to interview Ryan. Unfortunately, the original video is deleted. Now, Frank and Tyler Young from the band Makeout are in a heavy metal band called Vantovoid. Zach Cloud Hall was the bodyguard for Panic at the Disco and is a longtime friend of Brendan's. On November 1st, 2020, Brendan said Zach is fired due to unsavory acts from Zach towards fans. Pet Salamander. Pet Salamander was the band that came before Panic at the Disco. It consisted of Ryan, drummer Spencer Smith, and bassist Brent Wilson, but not Brendan. Brobex. The Brobex was the band Dallin Weeks was in when he was in high school. The 2013 album Too Weird to Live, Too Rare to Die has the song Far Too Young to Die, which was originally meant for the Brobex, then passed on to Panic. Drizella Cocaine. Drizella Cocaine is a joke drag queen character Brendan made up. It originated from a Snapchat filter which makes you have makeup on your face. Vroprom. Vroprom was a Twitch event hosted by Brendan in June of 2020. Since actual high school proms have been cancelled due to the COVID-19 pandemic, Brendan thought it would be nice to host a little home prom session for his fans. Hayley Williams. Hayley Williams is the lead singer of the band Paramore and is great friends with the Uries. She was actually the matchmaker for Sarah and Brendan. Kinky Boots. Kinky Boots is a Broadway musical. In 2017, Brendan had the offer to play character Charlie Price during a limited run. Cyndi Lauper was the one who thought Brendan would make a great candidate for Broadway. PA. The PA is a sound system used for stage shows. During a Manchester show on January 13, 2019, while the band was performing Queen's Bohemian Rhapsody, the PA suddenly broke, presumably due to how fire the cover of the song was. Mr. Disco. Mr. Disco is a joke within the community. It started when a music awards show was doing seatings for the different artists, and that included none other than Brendan himself, being labeled as Panic at the Disco. The joke got so popular, in fact, that actual shirts were made saying, "Who the fuck is Mr. Disco?" Good Cops. Good Cops is a comedy series from Death by Papaya Productions and Good Cops Entertainment. In the episode To Finger a Man from 2013, Brendan and Sarah Yuri, along with Dallin Weeks and Spencer Smith, are guest stars. Allegations. In August 2020, some Twitter users decided to come forth and claim Brendan Urie sexually assaulted them when they were minors. After people did some digging, they found these allegations were just a bunch of bullcrap. People who make up false allegations are truly the scum of the earth. 24-hour stream. In November 2019, Brendan hosted a charity stream on his Twitch to raise $100,000 for the Highest Hopes Foundation. During the stream, Pete Wentz of Fall Out Boy and Josh Dunn of 21 Pilots both make appearances. Brendan also leaked a metal song of his. French press. This could be referring to a limited time Panic at the Disco coffee mix from 2014. Nicole X Rowe. Nicole X Rowe is a fan account on Instagram. She became very well known in the fandom for providing lots, or should I say all, the evidence that disproved the allegations of Brendan. I rate Sin's BTS. No, when I say BTS, I do not mean the K-pop group. Instead, it just means behind the scenes. This behind the scenes is for the music video of the song I Write Sins, Not Tragedies. The behind the scenes video was posted in 2013, 7 years after the original music video was posted onto YouTube in 2006. Apparently, Brendan and Ryan were sick with the flu during the filming of the video. And in the comments of the video, you'll occasionally get jokes about fetuses and potatoes due to how young the band looks in the low-resolution filming. Fever. This is referring to how Ryan had a fever during the production of A Fever You Can't Sweat Out, hence the album name. Due to Ryan being sick, he couldn't be the lead singer of the band, so instead, he handed the torch over to Brendan. Kenny. Kenneth Harris was a touring guitarist from 2013 to 2018. In September of 2018, it was announced Kenneth would not be touring with the band anymore. This is because of sexual misconduct with minors on Instagram and Snapchat. He would soon be replaced by Mike Naran, Trump. It should come to no surprise that Brendan hates the 45th President of the United States of America, Donald Trump. I mean, come on, who doesn't? What a massive prick to my country. Anyways, in 2020, Trump played high hopes for his campaign. Brendan went onto Twitter to express his frustration, then urging his fans to vote him out. And soon he was. Audrey and Jack. Audrey Kitching and Jack Vennick were the girlfriends of Brendan and Ryan respectively in 2006. The reason the girls broke up with Brendan and Ryan was because Brendan and Ryan were spending more time with each other than with their girlfriends, according to Audrey and Jack. Insert clever gay joke here, I don't know. First Try. First Try is a song by Brendan he wrote at 14 years old in 2001. I'll leave a lyric video in the description. Gold. I have no idea what this is talking about. Is it Brendan's interest in gold, like the microphone and jacket? Is it the albums being certified gold? Perhaps it's a title to an unreleased song. So many questions, so little time. Fiona Apple. In the original rough demo of Miss Jackson called Bad Apple at the time, there was supposed to be a sample from the song Every Single Night by Fiona Apple in the song. When Brendan tried getting the rights to sample her, Fiona refused. So the song featured Lolo instead, and the song was changed from Bad Apple to Miss Jackson. There's an amazing recreation of the rough demo by YouTube user Anna Muskie. I'll link it in the description. Pretty Odd Fever. Pretty Odd Fever is a Tumblr user that's a fan of Panic. From what I can gather, they would post pictures of the band from back in 2005 to 2009, or what people call pre-split. 12-inch Pianist. The 12-inch Pianist is a story Dallin Weeks wrote based on the 12-inch Pianist joke. On a Periscope Live broadcasted by Brendan once, Kenny was reading the story Dallin wrote. Dan Griffith. From what I can find, Dan Griffith is the tour manager for Panic at the Disco. Don't know if there's anything else to be said about him? Milkfic writer. The author of the infamous Milkfic is Drew. She wrote another disturbing fanfiction with Fall Out Boy's Patrick Stump and Pete Wentz. Drew's real legal name is actually Danielle Selders and was in her 20s by the time she wrote those fics. She was arrested on charges of sexual acts with a minor in 2007. Truly disgusting and horrendous shit. And the fact she's in her 30s still writing creepy band fanfiction is sickening. Brendan Urie Vines. Brendan Urie Vines is a fan of the band and would post content about the band on social media, like any other fan would. In 2013, around the time Brendan and Sarah were getting married, BUV would disguise themselves as Brendan and his family to try inviting Ryan Ross to Brendan's wedding. So Brendan Urie Vines is surely the imposter here. Cricket and Clover. Cricket and Clover was supposed to be the band's second album before Pretty Odd took its place. This album was special as the band rented a cabin in Nevada to record the album. But unfortunately, the album was scrapped. In 2018, John Walker found some of the song recordings on a hard drive, but unfortunately can't drop them for legal reasons. I'll leave some videos about this lost album in the description, as they probably do a better job at explaining than I ever could. This definitely fascinates me as both a fan of Panic at the Disco and a lost media enthusiast. Panic tweets. If the Iceberg is supposed to be mentioning Panic's tweets, they're an account on Instagram posting and archiving tweets from the band and the members, both past and present. Misogyny. I don't know what this entry is specifically talking about. As a woman who is a big fan of this band and Brendan, I didn't feel all too comfortable searching this up, in case I get some bullshit tweets. I'll try my best here based on what I've seen. I think this might be talking about how he was accused of being misogynistic due to the crass humor in his vines from 2013. But I should go on record and say he is not misogynistic. One major reason is when female bassist Nicole Rowe joined Panic at the Disco in 2018. Brendan also believes girls should do whatever the hell they want, like playing video games and making choices for their own bodies, and not be shunned by society. Trey Cyrus.
I don't know why All Time Low always has to talk shit on Metro Station. We've been nothing but nice to those guys. And it's so disrespectful when you go on tour with bands and they treat you disrespectful. It's ridiculous. But we're not up here for that reason. I just had to get it off my chest.
I just had the most beautiful conversation with Trey Cyrus backstage. Touched my heart. Touched my heart. Hey, I want to remind everyone, we're having a good fucking time here tonight, okay?
I love it. Songs for Trey Cyrus. Here you go, fucker.
Pretty in Ink. Pretty in Ink is a song Panic at the Disco did in collaboration with the band 5 Seconds of Summer, or 5 Sauce. According to Brendan, the song is lost. Ugly Table. I really couldn't find anything on this, but what I did find is an interpretation of a lyric in the song. Oh boy. There's a good reason these tables are numbered, honey. You just haven't thought of it yet, on A Fever You Can't Sweat Out. One of the lyrical interpretations is when a woman goes to the bathroom and starts crying in front of the mirror. Someone had thought the narrator of the song is calling her ugly. Stand-up comedy. This may be referring to Brendan's interest in comedians. This is primarily where the problematic shit he said from 2011 to 2013 comes from. Brendan was a big fan of comedian Chris D'Elia before the allegations against the comedian came out in 2020. Jason Statham. I couldn't find anything on this really. When I tried searching, it's pretty much just articles on journalism sites where one is written about the band and another one written about Jason. I don't really know how to describe it. What's kind of funny is when I hear the name Jason Statham, I instantly think about the lyric from Pet Cheetah by 21 Pilots. Rockwell. Rockwell is someone who found out we've been singing I Write Sins Not Tragedies wrong this whole time. In 2017, they found out it's not closing the goddamn door, it's closing a goddamn door. Crazy Mandela effect shit here. Condoms in Norway. During a live show in Norway in 2008, while the band was performing That Green Gentleman, Things Have Changed from the album Pretty Odd, they changed some of the lyrics to have the word condoms in it. The reason for this is because at the time and during the production of the album, the band members were smoking lots of marijuana. Dedication to Nani. I unfortunately couldn't find anything on this. By the title of this entry, this seems quite sad, yet heartwarming. Brendan has dedicated so much to his fans who've had illnesses and or have passed away. Out of respect, I'm not talking about this any further. Please tell me in the comments what this is about. Vro. I've already talked about the Vro crew earlier. This is maybe talking about the origin of the word, which is a typo of the word bro. Then Brendan just went along with it and started calling his fans Vros. Baby Snake. So I couldn't find anything on this, but unfortunately when I tried searching, I saw articles about Brendan Urie and Taylor Swift's song, Me, where they would call Taylor a snake. Totally unrelated, but I felt it kinda needed to be addressed, one way or another. The Storm. I couldn't really find anything except for getting results for the song Hurricane on Vices and Virtues. Maybe The Storm was the original title for the song. Private shows. Definitely big in 2018 for the release of Pray for the Wicked, Brendan would hold private shows through Spotify. The Killers. In the years 2005 and 2006, Pete Wentz had a feud with the band The Killers, and Panic at the Disco were dragged into it. From what I can gather, it's just Brandon Flowers from The Killers getting pissed at Pete and his record label, which Panic is under. Freckles. This is referring to Brendan's very tiny freckles on his face, underneath his eyes or on his cheeks. Breaking Bad Art Gallery. Breaking Bad is a fairly popular TV show. In 2012, Brendan and Spencer went to the Gallery 1988 Breaking Bad art show, and even Sarah went along. Brendan actually bought a piece called I Spy Heisenberg. Palms Casino. During the MTV Music Awards in 2007, Panic at the Disco performed at Palms Hotel and Casino in the band's hometown of Las Vegas. Grandpa Disco. A joke from Brendan and the fans about him not knowing much about technology when it comes to his Twitch streams. Basically, he was being called a boomer. Trent. So this Trent person may be referring to Trent Reznor of the band 9 Inch Nails. While searching, I found a USA Today article about how Brendan made the 2016 album Death of a Bachelor, in which Brendan was being compared to Trent in the first few paragraphs. Tesla. This could be referring to the car Brendan gets out of in the beginning of the High Hopes music video, which is a Tesla. Brent Wilson competition. I couldn't really find anything on this relating to a competition, but there were definitely search results on him being arrested in February 2021 on possessions of drugs and a weapon. Gingerbread Boy. When Brendan was a kid, he would be called Gingerbread Boy because he has really dark eyes. I wonder if he and Ginger Brave would get along. Dylan Francis backflip. Dylan Francis and Brendan Urie made a song together called Love in the Middle of a Firefight. When the song was performed live by both on stage, Brendan tried doing a backflip on stage, like he does during Panic at the Disco shows, but unfortunately didn't land during his and Dylan's show. Leprechaun Counselor. During a 2018 Twitch stream, Brendan was listening to the song Here Comes the Hot Stepper, and he couldn't make out if the lyrics were Lyrical Genius or Leprechaun Counselor. James Charles. During a Twitch stream in 2018, makeup YouTuber James Charles asked Brendan in chat if he'd want to collaborate with James, to which Brendan declined. On James's own Twitch stream, he expressed his disappointment about Brendan turning him down. Brendan really dodged a bullet there because... yikes. Hair cookies. When someone on Twitch asked Brendan if they could give the band homemade baked goods, Brendan said no. He explains that back in 2006, he and his bandmates at the time were given cookies by a fan with the fan's hair strands in the cookies. Potatoes. In 2018, to promote Pray for the Wicked, select fans were mailed potatoes by Brendan that have himself and some messages on the potatoes. Zeeberg plus Ryan Ross wedding. In 2009, Ryan Ross and artist Zeeberg pretended to be married. This was during the time when Ryan left Panic. 504 Plan the band. 504 Plan was a band that John Walker was in, and Tom Conrad of the Academy was in this band too. Outlast. There was at one point when Brendan played the horror video game Outlast and recorded or streamed himself playing the game. Lemon Verbena. This might be talking about a soap scent Brendan likes. Living on a Boat. I unfortunately could not find anything on this except for Pretty Odd Songs. We're truly hitting rock bottom. Stand-up comedy. Wait. Didn't I already cover this? Why is it here twice? Do you hear that? Oh no, I've gone too deep! Someone help! Well, that was the Panic at the Disco Iceberg. I didn't know about some stuff on here despite being a fan for 5 or 6 years. I want to give a big thank you to those who helped with the entries I didn't really know. And again, special thanks to Renee on Twitter for creating this iceberg chart. I'll link their Twitter down below. I tried to get this out before new music from the band supposedly drops this year. Or by the time you're watching this, maybe there's new music already! This took a lot of work to make, so I'd highly appreciate it if you could like and share. Also, please feel free to comment as long as they're civil and respectful, because I know this video might be a bit controversial for some. Thank you all so much for watching. I think that's all I have to say. Goodbye!